All right, folks, today we're talking about the biggest story in sports right now. That's right, Yusei Kikuchi finally signed with the Angels. Obviously, I'm kidding. Juan Soto this week is going to get offers from teams about his contract. And the big question on everybody's mind is he going to sign right away? We're going to talk about everything to do with Juan Soto and his free agency, what teams are in the mix, and what are the possibilities that he's going to sign this week. First of all, Bob Nightingale wrote an article on USA Today where he discusses the teams that are involved in the Juan Soto sweepstakes. Apparently, there's only 4 teams that are really in play for Soto. It's the Mets, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox. So the first thing to note is obviously the Dodgers not really in play. We kind of expected that. I personally didn't think that the Dodgers were ever going to sign Juan Soto. I didn't think it was really in the cards for them. They're going to be going after Roki Sasaki. They're going to be filling in a few holes here and there. They obviously don't have many holes if they were winning the World Series. They did try to get involved. They had a meeting with Soto. They were just trying to, probably run up the price a little bit, kind of screw the Yankees, the Mets a little bit, or, whoever ends up with Soto. It makes sense. If you're a good team, you want to take a meeting with the best player in the entire free agency. Also, the Philadelphia Phillies, there was a lot of rumors about them being involved. And they're not. They're not really in play for this. Again, Soto probably cost them too much money. They have a lot of big contracts on the books, and they really mostly need to fill out other things. The Phillies are the type of team that doesn't need one big, huge signing to make a splash. They really kind of need to, again, fill in a few holes here and there. Maybe work on the Alec Bohm situation, maybe figure out what they're going to do at third base. Maybe they could trade Bohm for an outfielder that's going to obviously be a lot cheaper than Juan Soto, who's going to be maybe the biggest contract in history. Kind of crazy to say that after Shohei's huge contract last year. I think Scott Boras realizes that Soto's not going to get more money than Ohtani. It's not really in the cards, but Soto could get a higher AAV. And I think that's the record that Boras wants to break with Juan Soto. And rightfully so. 26 years old. You rarely ever get a 26-year-old free agent, let alone one with as much talent as Soto. So it just makes sense that they're trying to get one of the biggest contracts ever. So the 4 contenders are the Mets, Yankees, Blue Jays, and Red Sox. Now let's just get the Red Sox off the table right now. I don't believe that the Red Sox are really in play. John Henry has proven that he doesn't want to spend money. Are they even really looking like contenders right out the gate if they sign Soto? I don't think so. They have a lot of holes that they need to fill. I think it's far more likely that the Red Sox sign a starting pitcher that doesn't necessarily cost as much money as Juan Soto. Maybe somebody like Blake Snell would be a good pickup for the Red Sox. Not sure that I really see Blake Snell on the Red Sox. I'm just saying they have a lot of young talent, but not necessarily top young talent. So the Red Sox are kind of in limbo right now. I'm friends with a lot of Red Sox fans, and they all talk about how cheap John Henry is and how they don't think that he's ever really going to try to contend. It's just something that he doesn't care about. He's more about the money. The Blue Jays being on the list is not a surprise because they were one of the kind of finalists for Shohei last year. If we remember that whole saga, the Blue Jays love making big splashes, and they've been trying to really contend for a while. Their team is sort of in limbo right now. They can either sell off Vlad Guerrero, sell off Bo Bichette, and try and rebuild, or they can go and grab a huge free agent like Juan Soto and try to be in contention. But their window for contention is kind of closing because we know that Vlad Guerrero Jr., his contract is coming up, I believe, in about 2 years. They're going to end up having to pay him, and they're going to have to really make a decision then on what they're going to do with the team. That is kind of the issue with the Blue Jays right now. So they're definitely in play for Soto. They're always seem to be in play for these big time free agents, but they never seem to really contend. I imagine it's really hard for the Blue Jays because, you know, they're in Canada. So it's hard to convince a player from America who's lived here his entire life, or a player from a different country that has always dreamed of going to America. It's hard to convince these guys to join a team in Canada. It's a really tough sell. You feel for the Blue Jays. They've constantly been trying to contend and nothing really works out. Signing Soto is a huge step in that direction. I think that they would need to get some more pieces. Obviously, we saw the difference that Soto made for the Yankees last year. The Yankees were not good the previous year. Soto comes around and he was their only major change. And all of a sudden this team makes the World Series. Soto is a difference maker. I don't know if the Blue Jays are really going to end up signing him. Personally, I think there is a clear front runner, and I think there's a clear second place that could potentially steal from the front runner, depending on what happens. And that front runner is the Mets, mostly because Steve Cohen clearly wants Juan Soto, and Steve Cohen is clearly rich enough to afford him and give him whatever he really needs. If Cohen really doesn't care about the money, if he's willing to spend it and he's not really worried about what's going to happen to impact the future of the Mets or really impact the future of his pocket, his wallet, to be honest, I think Soto is definitely going to end up on the Mets. Really sad to think about as a Yankees fan, but it's just the hard truth of the matter. Now, we saw a report from Carlos Baerga about, I think, a week and a half ago, where he claimed that Cohen said that he would pay $50 million above the next highest price, the next highest offer that Juan Soto was going to get. But it turns out that reports contradicted that, and essentially that was not true. It's really hard to really know what is the truth and what's not about everything that's going on. Even if Cohen didn't explicitly say that, we know he's got the most money out of all the owners in the league. We know that he wants to see a championship. He wants to be a successful sports owner. He loves sports. So it's hard to think that even if he never really said what Baerga said, that he's going to be wrong. I don't know. That's just my thought process on it. And the last team in play is, of course, the Yankees, that Juan Soto is going to leave if he goes to the Mets. I have no idea if Soto enjoyed being on the Yankees. He certainly seemed like he did during the regular season. But the playoffs were a whole different animal. You know, the whole team kind of struggled, to say the least, especially in the World Series. You know, Soto wants to redeem that and come back, and he wants to fight. But I think that's just a delusional dream from Yankees fans. I don't know if Soto has any type of loyalty to the Yankees. I don't think he cares. I think that he just wants the money, and he wants to sign with a team that is a contender. I don't think he would sign with a non-contender, but he also is going to take the most money. And if he can take the most money with the team that's in contention, that's going to be his goal. The Yankees have so many different issues on the team. They're losing so many players this offseason that they have to fill these holes. They're almost kind of missing an entire infield outside of Volpe. They obviously still have Jazz, but Jazz is so versatile, you could kind of put him anywhere. The Yankees have options. They have options. But the problem is, how much longer are they going to have options for? Because if it takes Soto a while to actually sign with a team, the Yankees aren't going to move forward and do anything. So I guess that's the whole point of the video is, will Soto sign this week? Everybody's waiting to see, where does Juan Soto sign so all the dominoes line up. And like Shohei took until I think January or February of last year. It took him a while. But I think there's a chance that Soto does sign earlier, because Soto really wants to contend. Soto is the kind of guy that understands the Yankees need more pieces. The Mets need more pieces beyond just signing Soto. The Blue Jays are going to need more pieces as well. The Red Sox need a lot, so I again don't think that they're serious contenders in here. Soto understands that, and Soto wants to win. So I think there's a very good chance that Soto signs a little earlier. Will it be this week? I don't believe so. They are going to send out offers this week. I think at the earliest it would be next week. But in reality, sometime in the middle of December, I think that Soto will sign his deal. Obviously, that's just a prediction. I don't know. I don't know the truth. I don't know what's going on through this man's mind. But all the reports are saying the things that I am kind of conveying here. I'm hoping that we get an answer on Soto soon because that'll be really exciting news. And then once that happens, all the rest of the pieces in free agency are going to start to fall into place. People are going to give out contracts to Bregman, to Pete Alonso. Right now, I think it's holding things up a little bit in the free agency market. I will definitely have more reports on this channel about what's going on. If you enjoy this type of content, I'm trying to put out daily videos on sports every single day. That's what daily videos means. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. It would help out a ton if you subscribed. Check out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you.